Do it. Okay. Welcome everyone to Fighters of the Black Shield Origins. For those who are playing, those who are playing behind the scenes, and also for those that are watching. Um, Today's scene, we start in a mansion in a wooded area, very secluded, but there is a group um, where they have gathered. Uh, they are in a room, a nice study, one might say, well portioned, and a significant amount of books and scrolls there as they sit there waiting for their appointment with the leader of the Fighters of the Black Shield by name of Stone. And while they sit there, we will have them introduce themselves, except for their last companion that they're still waiting for, Anger. But he's known to be a little bit late and wild, so we'll see when he comes. But first, Lace, why don't you introduce everybody to your character?
Well, Lace walks in with a bottle of wine and several glasses. Anybody for a glass? Um, she's kind of medium height. She has dark hair. She's very attractive. She has an earring. Um, she's wearing basic clothes that are really nice, dark colored. And she pours anybody a glass who wants one. I'm Lace. Pleased to meet everybody, and I'm really hoping to um, know you even better.
Well, Dream, let us know you a little bit better.
Dream walks in. Pale skin, pale eyes, pale hair, pale everything. Male or female, you can't tell. Wears simple monochromatic clothes. And no expression. Turns down the wine and sits down.
I'm going to guess Joy is not turning down the wine. Joy.
Yeah, Joy has definitely taken a glass of wine. She, does a quick, hug to Lace and a spin, and so good to see you again. And you barely sit still, but she knows better than to spill the wine. She is about as colorful as you can get. Lots of scarves, lots of, layers. There's a sword at her hip that she doesn't leave behind anywhere. But also, just, her hair is in, long, multicolored. We're just going to go with that. You're not certain where she got some of those colors. You're pretty sure they shouldn't exist in the real world. She may or may not have been playing with some paints recently. You can't tell. But, she's, just wandering around the room. And if she's not touching something, reading something, or, talking to someone, you're going to be surprised if she's, just still, because she doesn't ever really stop, and getting her to sit is going to always be the hardest part of a day. So, but happy to take some wine.
And that leaves Hope in the room. Tell us about Hope.
Simple looking. He younger, but the age shows if you look closer around the eyes. Brown hair, brown eyes, simple white tunic, comfortable pants, sensible boots. Graciously accepts the wine, bowing his head. Very, very nice to meet new people. Stone always chooses the best in his friends. I can't wait to get you guys on my side. Not simple holy symbol around his neck. Trying not to be too imposing on the room, trying to make his big 6-foot frame muscly look as small as possible, while just generally being peaceable.
Excellent. You have a moment to sit there. Some of you know each other. Some of you, it is beginnings of getting acquainted. But the door opens and a tall man with that chiseled chin, very much that strong, sturdy look, wearing noble clothes and carrying a book, walks in. You know this to be Stone. And he sits down and shuts the door and takes one of the glass, a little bit of wine from Lace. Although he has a bit of a severe look in his face, and in his other hand, you notice he has what looks to be a gemstone in some metal setting, like a huge brooch kind of feel, and it flashes a little bit red as he sits down and turns to all of you. Greetings. Thank you for coming. We have a mission. We have a client who is particularly interested and willing to pay to ensure that a particular darkness does not grow any larger. This is the best kind of client. You may have heard of the vampire. He's an Onshog, a creature of the blood of Azrai that has taken over a domain in the Vicitude Mountains in the central part of the continent. Rumor has come that the powers that he has are more than just bat wings and the ability to travel through the darkness, but also when he drinks the blood of those that have the power of the gods, the blooded individuals, that he absorbs their power in full. That he can take the essence of the god and grow stronger and stronger. And this is of concern to many, I think, myself included, for this is a sword of power that, if not stopped early, can lead to, well, another Gorgon. And we have enough of those, I think. I have chartered a boat for you, fastest as possible, to get you there, as close as possible. But we have there are three things I need you to do. We need to remove the vampire, destroying this creature. It would be best if at the same time we found someone reasonable and an ally to take over the domain so that it is not left empty. And also for an significant extra charge, if we are able to bring back some essence of the vampire's blood power in this, and he sets the gemstone that was on his hand in kind of the table in the middle of the room. And those of you who have seen such things before, which is probably everyone but Joy in this room, you notice that the setting is actually Timeveril, that special material that conducts blood power well. And unlike, it looks like it's a brooch when he sets down, like it has a pin, but you realize that pin isn't something that moves or comes back in, but it's actually like a spike, pointed. And this is a soul gem, Stone says. If it is applied to a dying or weakened individual, and the Timeveril pierces their blood, then it will capture some amount. The magics are inconsistent, so we do not know how much. But this power that he has to gather and control the blood itself is one that is worth much to study and understand. And worth a lot to those, both that knowledge and the power.
If I understand it, just a little bit of this vampire's power in there would be quite a bit for somebody else, right?
It is possible.
That'll be worth a lot. Handy to know.
Do you suggest someone to put in control after we take him out?
Yeah.
Do you have anybody? Do you have a list or suggestions?
It is unfortunate that the surrounding countries are not particularly well allied or difficulty. You will see that Massenmarch has its own problems with its Onshag ruler. Kiergaard is but a puppet of the Gorgon. And Rormark to the south is in its own civil war. There are some dissidents, and I have given you some information of them, like a Joseph Bladesmith, who seems a well-learned elderly individual who has gathered some of those that are against the oppression of the vampire's rule. But I trust in your judgment to decide what would be the best. It may be there's a solution we do not know yet.
Is this Bladesmith blooded at all?
I do not know. Oh, and then the door flies open if you're ready, Frank. Maybe not quite yet. Anger may be here any second. Does anyone else have any other questions?
On the briefing materials, there's also that 3-finger group that is in that area.
Yes, we have heard there is a very subterfuge spy group operating out of Bloodshroud. Bloodshroud is the capital city where the vampire is located, and they claim to be connected into the inner circle of the vampire, but we know nothing else about them. We do have contact information, how you might contact them, but it is as likely that they are there as a trap as to be of use.
Do we have Chimera weapons for this?
No.
So just that pretty brooch.
I think that I would be concerned sending any of you into such a mission with the Chimera weapon, as you probably want to stay who you are.
Okay, so how are we supposed to bring this guy down? Just stab him with a brooch?
One assumes normal methods will work, but they might require some investigation.
All right.
I think with enough dedication, and if we all work together, we can really accomplish anything.
I'm sure we can hit him hard enough, do enough damage, and then somebody sit on him and stick that thing in.
Or we can just chop him into little bits, burn him into ash, and then put the brooch in the ash.
Oh, you're here, Anger.
I do believe it needs some blood.
And Anger comes in. Anger, do you want to give us an introduction to you?
So odd question. The Juvik race, what is that? Humans, elves?
Bajuric are basically think of them as Vikings.
Yeah, excellent. Imagine Viking, but more woodsy. Probably about 6 foot tall. Carries a couple of axes on him and a bow, of course. Doesn't really have too many features that would be descriptive, except that he does have kind of a weird looking belt on him.
What did he say?
Okay.
No, he said.
Your boat is waiting for you when you are ready, if there's anything else. But this is a well-funded endeavor, so if there's any supplies you need, we can have them delivered to the boat.
Do we know how long the journey is?
I mean, it's a ways. It's weeks.
So as long as we get enough supplies for that. Food, water. I think that's all we need.
I also need 20 barrels of ale and 20 barrels of meat.
Wow, that's... You don't think that's gratuitous? I mean, I feel like we could bring some, morale and all, but 40 barrels.
That might make us through the journey.
Is that
And
just
if
for the
anybody-
trip there, or is that also for the return trip?
No, that's just for the trip there. And if anybody touches any, I'll chop your hands off.
Wait, you're not going to share? That's not right.
You're so much fun.
I'm going to hold up my glass
Okay,
of wine
well,
and one of the bottles.
Oh, you allow me to finish here. Once I've had like 3 or 4 drinks that night, I will probably share. But until those 3 or 4 drinks, hands off.
You don't have to worry about me touching your alcohol.
As long as we can sing sea shanties, I think we'll be all right.
Oh, singing? I can do that.
I knew someone had it in them. I knew it. Positive group like ourselves.
Stone will assure Anger that there will be appropriate enough mead and ale aboard. And then after that, it'll just be about how much you can carry.
Can we bring horses on this boat, or are we finding mounts when we get there?
You'll probably be finding mounts when you get there. You will have a little
Fantastic.
bit of a journey to get to the Vampire's Hold before then. But okay.
Where is the boat taking us? What is the town it will be dropping us off at?
That's going to be your first decision. You're either going to get to land in a port in the south of Kiergaard or Masson March. They're kind of assuming you're going to pick Masson March because Kiergaard is Gorgon territory, although but that's an option for you.
How's Thurengode this time of year? Forested, maybe stealthy.
It's the Mediterranean climb, so it's not going to be too
Got it.
cold or anything.
How big is that city?
Thurengode is a province, not a city, and
Okay.
there's very little civilization there.
Oh, fantastic! I think that's a great place to start.
So if you guys wanted to sneak in, that's probably a good starting place. There's a nice navigable river up a ways, and then could head up there. So that works good. We're not going to worry too much about the travel plans because it's more exciting about what you're planning on doing when you get there. And that's what you'll have some trip to do.
Okay.
Is there anything else before we start on the journey montage?
You mean we're not going to Lord of the Rings it, and have, 3 whole movies dedicated to nothing but walking?
We're traveling by map.
Fast travel.
I personally limit my walking to only 2.5 movies at most. So, but this one, 0 movies. Yep, we're going to do some fast travel. But you are all going to be on a boat together for some weeks. If there's anything, I'll just think about one action you might want to do while you're on the boat before we move on. And then also, while we're on the boat, though, the main action will be kind of deciding what your plan's going to be when you get there. If there's a particular contact you want to go after first or any of that. So I open that up for discussion as the journey begins.
Well, I encourage group discussions on a at least tri-weekly basis by making food and having us all kind of get together and talk about our experiences. Knowing it's boring and we're restricted on this boat, we need some kind of intellectual stimulation. You know, build morale.
Dream is gonna spend the voyage talking to the ship's crew about where they're going and any potential contacts there that we might take advantage of.
Sure. So on that point, the crew doesn't necessarily know Vampire's Hold very well. They tell you that they kind of stay away from there because a lot of people end up getting sent to the mines when you go in there. They don't really know a lot about the contacts in there, other than the stuff that in the mission briefing, that there's the lady, there's the Joseph Bladesmith, and sorry, I've lost my thing. And Rose saying that are people that you've heard about, and they can kind of tell you where to find them, but that's mostly it.
Okay.
And there was something about Dame Wither, but that just sounds kind of like a scary person to go visit.
Sounds more promising than the Three Finger, I believe.
Well, definitely that, yes.
I don't know, anything that seems generally peaceful, I'm willing to at least, give a shot.
I mean, generally peaceful, but also powerful entity. So she's definitely going to be somebody blooded, and most likely anyway.
I feel like that's what we need. And Joseph Bladesmith.
Yeah.
I feel like he's another good starting point, especially if he has any kind of influence in the area. Well, Dame Withered, she's definitely going to have influence and can help us.
True. Joy is going to basically provide entertainment over the course of the trip because I've got all my instruments, and I'm going to advocate for we should just sneak in and kill him, and we can just go in as a troop or something. And, I think this can work if we just pretend we're actors or, some type of traveling group. Yeah, something like that.
I mean, as much fun as that would be, my ability to deceive is, well, non-existent.
I'm all for going in and killing him.
I mean, I could sneak in. That's what I do.
Right. It's that part where we're supposed to survive the second part.
I mean,
I'm not able to sneak.
I could totally scout it out though.
Pincer. We have Joy and Lace, investigate a little bit.
That's true.
The rest of us, less subtle types, front door maybe.
When it comes time, my method is pretty direct. I smush it repeatedly. My plan is to spend the next 3 weeks complaining about being on a boat, unlike your typical Viking. And drinking.
Of course you are.
Okay, one thing of note is that the water, your trip is pretty quick. The winds seem very favorable most of the ways, and in fact, it looks like there's almost something like a hippo, like a horse in the water ahead of the boat a lot of the time, as it moves faster. Some of the crew are a little bit concerned about that, but they kind of know what they signed up for, so they just deal with it.
Sorry about
that.
Sorry, my thing decided to back me out for a moment there.
The names are a little bit off now.
Yeah.
I-
We came back in a different order, didn't we?
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Things we'll learn about Google Meet.
Right.
I don't know. Dream, Joy, and Lace just have changed so drastically.
Oh, I get to be
It's-
Joy now? Great!
Yes, you can be Joy for a bit.
It's better than Discord because Discord switches around constantly. Like when you're in the video chat, like every 5-10 minutes I look over and the whole layout's different. And it's like, huh, okay. So
Well, we will just go with that at the moment.
So I do want, in addition to the whole dancing, entertaining, and discussing tactics about, maybe with Lace of how to get in, maybe to investigate further. I will also be doing sword practice every morning to try to get better with my weapon.
I would love to practice early morning
That would be great.
swordsmanship.
I mean, one of the things I do is getting into places I shouldn't be. That's kind of my talent. So I really have to kind of be there and kind of feel out the place to see how I would do that. If I would just sneak in, or if I would apply to be one of the maids or scullery maids or something. I mean, that's kind of what I do, and I could easily do that.
True.
The Stone mentioned a spy network. I could probably try to work on contacting them to see if they have any information.
No poking in this server.
I can see what my contacts in the area say as well. See if they.
What?
I mean, there is some question whether or not this spy
the wrong
network
freaking
is
button.
reputable. So, I mean, we can find that out and see what they're
I
up
have
to
ammo, that's why.
and what they know.
Yeah. If we can start getting contacts in that spy network, that would make the most sense.
You could attempt to join them, but as a completely separate entity to our group.
Yeah, we'll see if it makes sense.
No, get on the lift.
And then we can also find out where to best find Dame Wither, perhaps, and Joseph, and just start making contacts. Although
The northern city of Rompact. I don't know exactly
Rompact.
where that is, but we are in theory going near Dame Wither. Is that?
Is Rompact and Rupact? I know that's a weird question, but
That made sense.
well, there's a place called RUAPACHT that's in the vampires area, but I don't know if that's the right place.
Well, we know Dame Wither is just south past the Vampire's Hold, and we could attempt to avoid the Vampire's territory for now and see if we couldn't find her in that southern forested area.
Wait, you want to go into the Kulabihi?
Yeah. What could go wrong?
So much could go wrong. So much.
And that's why we have come prepared for everything. Or as much as we can, anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, you make good time, and it looks like the plan is to try and find Dame Wither, right? And I think you're going to land basically on the border of Kiergaard and Massenmarch, which is that river by the Thurengard, and work your way up there. Hopefully find some place where you can procure some horses and then work your way up
Can we
into the mountainous territory.
stop briefly by Torin? I've heard it's a lovely place. Right there on the river.
But why?
I feel like a special connection to the area.
We need to focus here.
There you go.
As you wish. I mean, we'll be going through there. Did
Boyd.
Lace want to? Did we want to start getting a feel for the land, or did we want to talk to Dame Wither first?
Let's talk to Dame Wither first. See what she has to
You had a
say.
lot of health.
Okay.
Dream, you're talking to some of the people on the boat, and they've heard of Dame Wither, and they generally say that she definitely sees things that other people don't and knows things that she shouldn't. So that might be beneficial. They're also concerned, that but a lot of the people that go to her and see those visions kind of, end badly. So there might be sometimes cursed to know your future kind of concept.
Wonderful.
That the sailors talk about.
Sounds like my type of person.
Okay, with the journey over, or getting over, I think we're get ready to move on.
I'm all for that. Moving on is good.
Okay. You land. You are more than capable of procuring some horses, and you start your journey through the woods and the forest. You are on the border between the two. You can kind of see that the land on the Kiergaard side used to be perhaps good farmland and well country, but it is now overgrown and unused. And there's the occasional drums of goblin bands that you hear that direction. On the other side, the terrain seems good, but mostly uninhabited as you head your way south towards the Vampire's Hold. The Vampire's Hold itself is deep within the mountains, and your horses pass through a gap in the mountains before you officially call yourself within the Vampire's Hold. You can see that the whole area is ringed mostly by mountains. The larger ones are to the south, but where you're coming in, you are not coming too far from the capital of the Vampire's Hold, Bloodshroud, and maybe just off in the distance, you can make out the winding hilltop or mountaintop castle keep that makes that the vampire calls his home, and knowing that you will probably return there before too long.
When we get our horses in Kiergaard, I actually have a phantom steed instead.
Describe that for everybody.
It's a horse that looks like a ghost.
Not terrifying at all. Your boss really likes you.
I'm gonna basically just kind of scout and pick the best paths forward for the group as we travel through the wilderness areas.
Sure.
Just because I don't need horses getting caught up in thickets or bugs, and okay, we got a tough enough fight coming up for us, so let's not have nature fight against us too.
And forest is your favorite terrain too, right? So
I believe it is, yeah.
So you're in good shape following Anger through this. And in fact, you're probably glad that once you pass through that gap in the mountains and head far enough south, you really end up more in the forest area along the Kulabi rather than through that. But I do need everybody to make the obligatory perception check not long after you pass through that gap into the vampires and continue your journey to the south. So let's do that.
And it's a +2 bonus if I'm in my favorite terrain.
No. For perception?
Starting
Yeah.
out great. Hey, at least
I
Laura's here.
think it's just a.
Right?
It would either be
Can't see
advantage or
anything.
nothing, Frank. I'm not sure which it is.
Dream got a
man.
21.
Lace, glad we brought you for your immaculate perception.
Immaculate
Yeah.
perception.
Yeah, currently Hope and I are discussing the finer details of something, who knows what.
Well, if we're still on that swordsmanship,
Yeah, we probably are.
theory crafting techniques.
I mean, I don't know anything about crafting, but this sword is definitely all about tactics, I'll tell you that.
It's good. Lord Carl Adler. Plus
My sword wants to know if
14.
you should roll perception, or if it should roll perception.
The sword can roll perception.
Yay!
Alex. Can't help but notice some statistic differences in our characters.
Yes. These talking heads are not things to be taken lightly.
If mine's anything to go by, I'm terrified.
Okay,
My sword
well,
was so caught up in our conversation, it noticed nothing.
okay, so my first dice roll here, a little bit. So, Dream, you got a 21, is that correct?
Yep. Correct.
And Lace got a 17.
I didn't even see Dream's roll. Oh my god.
And but it may seem like Lace got even higher because Lord Carl Adler got a much higher number. I hear the sword did not do very well. That's what
Natural
I
one.
hear.
It's because swords don't have eyeballs.
You make a fair point.
And we had it distracted.
Talking about it, I think.
Well, tactics and fighting, it really likes that.
Okay, Dream and Lace and Lord Carl Adler. Ever since you passed into the vampire's realm, you have sort of this feeling like a shadow has been following you. You know, you look back and you can see, you don't see a person or anything, but it looks like the shadows seem a little bit odd, or maybe there is a shadow of a person, but no person there. And this has been going on for about a couple of miles.
Hey guys. I think we're being followed.
Oh,
Do you know by what?
No, but it's menacing.
We should confront
that's
him.
So, Anger, if you want to circle around, see if you can go behind it.
I'm pretty sure I could do something along those lines.
You can be quiet in the forest. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Do those
totally.
of us that saw it recognize it at all?
It's just as a shadow. You don't
Oh,
recognize it as anything of note yet. No.
Okay.
I think we should. I think we should stop. Wait here while our compatriot sneaks around and see if we can't ask it its business.
I like that plan.
Pull my horse around. You know, get off.
Should we make a fire?
Yeah.
Would you like some
Marshmallows?
tea?
I mean, I didn't know we brought marshmallows, but I'd love to.
I'm going with anger.
Put some tea together.
So, what are you dressed in?
Where'd
Just
we land
out
on
of
this?
curiosity, the person going with me, going with me, what do you have on?
Just straight black clothes. It's
Okay. I'm gonna pull a cloak out of my bag and toss it to you. It's kind of modeled. None of the patterns match, and it's all dark, foresty tones. Put that on. And whatever you do, once we get into position, don't move.
Okay.
And we're going to circle around and leave the camp. And I'm going to find me a good spot. And I'm going to watch the camp.
Yeah. So we've split up into two groups. We have a circle back sneaky group, and then the first group who looks to be the provide welcoming fire for traveler to join us group.
And
right?
maybe s'mores.
Right.
There
So
is some
maybe
sort of-
maybe not s'mores, but
Well, I don't think I brought any chocolate. That's not a good food for travel.
I brought some chocolate. I don't have
Holy crud,
marshmallows.
I cannot
though.
roll in this system.
oh
This
man,
system sucks. I'm pulling a Dean now.
you are.
Heather, if you also want to dream, if you also want to give me a roll for stealth, that would be good.
stealth, yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm gonna put make a fire for some tea or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's make some tea.
I
I
make
feel
some.
like
I make some good marshmallow sticks.
that the other group should roll a make our fire look welcoming and not threatening roll as well.
Oh, do I
Maybe
have
that's
that skill?
performance. Maybe that's deception. I guess. Tell me what you think it is.
I told you survival and then rolled it.
I'll try deception.
How does that work?
I am totally doing deception.
Can
I
we
rolled
assist
a
each other?
7.
Less on the fire, more on the welcoming atmosphere.
Yeah, I'm heavy on the fire part. No talking. Yeah.
I'm not very sneaky.
Hitting my shots.
Yeah,
Have we definitely
the-
noticed that they're not being very sneaky?
that the welcoming group is way better than the sneaking group as a whole here.
I feel like that's important to be more obvious, I think.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Can we see this thing yet? I mean, or is it still just a shadow?
You haven't really. I mean, it was a shot a little bit ago. You did your thing. You've waited. Nothing has come out, and then so you're prepared. You heard a little bit of crashing in the woods, apparently nearby.
Ow,
but
anger,
think
you stepped on me.
I think that's just Dream and Anger trying to figure out how to work together. When
That's totally it. She's crashing my stealthy vibes.
just like kind of out of nowhere on the trail, and so Dream and Anger, you're both kind of working your way back that direction, and you're pretty sure that they weren't on the path behind you, but then you kind of look to you look back kind of past where you've already gone sneaking, and you can see that there's now a traveler on the road who is approaching the group. The traveler is clearly a halfling, has a kind of big broad-brimmed hat, but other than that, like very kind of fine noble-ish clothes, reds and blues, and there's just like Both Dream and Anger, both of you kind of get like a little bit of a chill that runs up your spine. You're not sure why.
Do I see him?
The rest of you three see this halfling approach.
Oh, hello there. Do you want to join us for some marshmallows?
Do we have those?
Yeah, we have those.
Oh yeah, lovely. Here, a seat.
And some tea, perhaps, traveler.
Oh yes, Joy here makes excellent tea.
Yes, I beat you. Now, shush, I'm trying to hide here.
Welcome, he says in a kind of quiet voice. You get kind of, he looks up from under the hat, and you can see that his eyes are, at first glance, they look red. As you take a second glance, the reason they look red is that he looks like he's an albino. The hair is white, the skin is really pale, and the kind of gives a pink tint to the eyes as well. And he walks over to the fire and sits down, but seems more interested in the tea, per se, that Joy has produced than whatever that fluffy sugar confection roasted over the fire is that Hope has worked with. Although I'm going to say with a 20 in survival, it looks pretty edible.
Okay, that's suspicious. It's a halfling not eating a marshmallow.
Well,
Right.
maybe it's a vampire thing. I mean, albino thing.
Right. Yeah, did we ever get a description of the bad guy? Because who knows?
Was he a halfling? Did we ever get race? I don't think we got race.
Right.
He is a halfling, yes. Or I mean, excuse me. The vampire, as far as you know, was human before.
Okay.
Okay. If he's got a cup, a traveler's mug or anything, I'll fill it with some tea. He's like, welcome. Where are you headed today?
I am just traveling. This is my usual walk through the woods. I live nearabouts. And I saw such a strange group come through that I couldn't help but stop and take a look. And you can see that he looks over at the phantom steed with its, what do I quote, eyes blazing like embers, its mane dancing like flames, and writhing.
Yeah. Isn't it pretty?
I think that has been established. Very pretty.
Very pretty. Yeah, I can see where this group of us would be a little bit odd. You said you're local here. How long have you lived in this area?
A year or two. For anyone sitting talking to him, feel free to give me an insight roll.
I would love to.
And for Dream and Anger, I mean, you both get the impression that, he's probably aware that you're in the woods there.
He did look at Steed.
Right.
Well, I mean, Dream did not take the steed into the woods to sneak.
Excellent. Dream can go back in and cover for my crappy stealth roll, and I'll say where
Damn,
I'm at.
Laura! Damn!
I'm going to need to give Laura a note for that, right?
I thought I did all right.
Oh, I rolled in the wrong place, but I got a 23. I rolled in the chat by accident.
Okay. The short answer is that all of you are pretty sure that he's lying, and that he's not necessarily that great at lying.
Good thing we crushed those insights.
Right?
Yeah.
So you walk this trail a lot. Where does this particular path lead?
Well, most that come this way are heading either into the town to the south or working towards Bloodshroud. Are you headed towards Bloodshroud?
I don't think we're gonna be headed towards Bloodshroud anytime soon.
Not at this time, but I hope to visit there soon.
Well, I heard it's dangerous, and I feel like as intelligent adventurers, we want to stay away from the more threatening areas of the country.
Right, you say that, but it still sounds like an exciting place to visit.
Very exciting. I cannot doubt that.
Dream's gonna walk back to the camp, kind of circle around away from where Anger's at, and walk back into the camp.
Oh, welcome back from your trip.
There you are.
Patriot. Sit down. Join us. This is our new friend. What's
We
your
didn't
name?
Oh, he seems taken aback by the question about the name. Well, around here they just call me Shadow.
Shadow. Well, I'm Hope. These are my friends.
Hi,
Pointing
I'm
to-
Dawn.
And the other ones, I'm sure, will introduce themselves when they feel more comfortable with you, Mr. Shadow. That's an interesting name. Is that a family name or?
I'll try this.
I actually think Greg and Laura might be frozen.
I'm not frozen, am I?
I don't
Nope.
think so. I can hear them. I can hear them talking.
I can see them moving.
Yeah.
It might
Maybe
just be
it's
that
on my
I'm
side.
pondering my message to Laura and I've yet to type it.
That's fair.
While I'm working on these things. He sees you can I'll just actually say it out rather than type it. Laura Lace definitely noticed not only is he lying, but you feel that he has spent an undue amount of time looking at Joy's sword, and seems to definitely at a minimum recognize what's going on with the Phantom Steed there. And as Dream comes back, he turns right towards Dream and seems interested, I guess. Oh, my good sir, did you have what brings you to this part of the world?
The real question is, what are you doing here?
So you two know each other, or because I feel like I don't want to point the elephant in the camp, but
I don't recognize this.
I see something. You don't recognize him, but what he
Okay.
looks at you and says, I see something else there. You all have not come alone, have you?
I roll my eyes. I'm never alone anymore. It's
well,
okay.
there's at least 5 of us, so
5 of us?
see.
4.
I must.
Because anger.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what I don't know where I got 5. Who said that?
Okay. I must tell you that the vampire watches all that come to his lands, and his eyes are everywhere. And his eyes must now be on you as well. And with that, he kind of like hastily turns, sets down he probably drops his cup of tea, and starts walking towards the forest.
It was lovely meeting you.
Right.
Do we want to let him live?
What?
Well, he's
I might-
already dead, so
Is he? I feel like I've
Yeah.
missed something very important here. He seemed like a nice guy.
Except for the fact he's actually dead.
he's actually dead. Yeah.
What?
And the
What?
fact that, well, I'm not there, so I'm
confused.
not going to say anything.
I mean, because I
Stay safe.
can. We're
Thank
letting
you
him.
for the warning.
You can what?
I mean, we could try to kill the already dead man, but that seems kind of rude.
Why? He hasn't hurt us, right?
Right. He got a cup of tea.
I mean, yeah, he dropped it, but wasn't it his mug?
Yes.
Free mug, right? Pick it up, wash it off, wipe it off, put it in my backpack. Let's go.
I mean, sir, if you'd like to talk more, we'd love to speak with you more about this veiled threat in this area.
He didn't seem most talkative of sorts.
Can I chase after him and give him his mug back?
He was definitely checking us out.
We seemed specifically looking at the sword and dream.
He was definitely checking you out. How do you have that impression?
He was
Did he
definitely
seem-
checking us out.
Did he seem like he was intimidated by us at all, or just thought we were a joke and so he left?
I would say intimidated.
Fair enough. I mean, if
Well,
he actually dropped the teacup, I would like to, take a few steps to return it.
I will point out he left as soon as Dream came in.
But
Did
he
he
did
not
make
like
some
you?
weird comments and then leave. So I feel like he knows definitely more about Dream, at least, than he's letting on.
I mean, if we want to just let him go, then we can just let him go.
I'm all
Yeah,
for it.
I don't
Okay.
see any reason to accost the stranger.
Well, I
Have a
mean,
good on death.
it's good for our party to make the first not kill the first NPC we went into.
Wait, no, I pull out my bow and I just start taking
Okay.
shots.
Okay, hold your horses here. We haven't
Okay,
decided
answer
for
too soon.
sure that he's going to live.
I heard he was already in a state of unlife.
So he's made it into the woods and basically is out of the sight of the four of you at this point. But as noted, Anger is hanging out in the woods back there, and if you wanted to do something, you could there. Anger, do you have a plan?
No, I don't have a plan.
Okay.
My plan is to sit here and remain as still as possible until he's gone.
You get to watch him. I mean, basically, as he gets into the woods and the shadows that fall from the trees, he walks right into the shadows of one of those trees and just kind of disappears in that shadow.
Can all halflings do that?
Yes.
No.
We haven't met many halflings.
I'm going to give it about a 20 count, and then I'm going to plant an arrow right in that shadow.
It's like Batman. He's not really gone. You just can't see him.
You do that, it just hits the ground as normal, or the tree, depending on where you're aiming.
All right. I'll recover my arrow and head back into camp.
Well, he did mention, that the vampire probably still already knows we're here. That's useful information.
And then I'll mention the shadow walking ability to everybody.
I heard about this. There's a special class of monks that use darkness to their advantage. I don't think he was a vampire. I think he was a monk.
No, I'm pretty sure he was an Umbric halfling.
Ah, Umber halfling monk.
I don't have my file.
He
What am
was
I doing
definitely
again?
dead. Okay.
Dead
Definitely
halfling monk.
dead.
Well, I seemed very ambulatory for just dead.
I mean, mostly dead.
He's
Definitely dead.
mostly dead. All right. So, do we think vampire pawn? Do we think
I
maybe
think we should hurry to find
an
the
agent
demon.
of the dame? No, let's continue further away from Vampire's Hold,
All right.
especially if he's staring at us.
We can ask about him around, see if there's any local lore about him.
How many villages, towns, civilization is nearby to where we are? Besides Vampire's Hold, complete opposite direction, preferably.
You mean Bloodshroud in particular you want to avoid?
Yes, but any small civilization, small village would be lovely, and we could just have like Lace and Joy go in and, like you said, gather information about Shadow or other small vampires.
So you might find some small hamlets and the like, but this is actually pretty rough territory. And one of the things that you knew that I haven't mentioned yet is that you knew that there are a lot of patrols along the road for the vampires people, and he requires papers and all that stuff. So I sort of assumed that you have forged some already for this endeavor. So just so you know, but you will, as you head that direction, you will come across a troop of guards kind of patrolling the road that are that you have to like check papers with and stuff. They also look a little bit askew at Dream's horse. But they don't seem in any way the kind of people who want to start a fight, actually. So as long as your papers check out, they're going to be comfortable to let you go by.
I'm confident in, I assume, Lace's ability to forge papers.
I bring on the charm, kind of assure them that we are no threat, despite the phantom horse.
It doesn't bite, probably.
It just followed us. I don't know. We decided
might
not
bite.
to argue.
He might bite. Just
Never mind, Dream.
stay away.
Never mind the one riding the horse.
Could you like put that away, Dream, for a while while we're in civilization? Might make it easier.
Something about under the radar.
Okay, Jen froze up. She's rebooting her computer right now.
Yeah. So the question was about villages. I mean, the short answer is that you're not going to see a lot. But you will, as you get to the south, there's a couple of larger towns that are kind of to the south of the mountains that you'll pass through on your way to where you think Dame Wither might be, and we'll just kind of head that direction. The guards are kind of the most notable encounter on the road after your halfling friend, and we should. If you want to stop in a town before you head to find Dame Wither, let me know.
I am intrigued in that concept.
Okay. Do you guys want to stop in Zimmerhaben or Fielding Bluffs?
Zimmerhaben sounds sehr gut.
Sounds German.
This all sounds vaguely German. I don't know. What do you guys think? Does anyone know anything about the area?
No, unfortunately, I do not.
There is one of the rebel leader contacts that you had in Zimmerhaben.
Okay.
But I don't know if you were planning on doing that before or after talking to Dame Wither.
Roseam.
Roseam, yeah.
do you guys want to go to Simmerhaven and see if we can't two birds, one stone, so to speak? On
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
That sounds like a good plan
As
to
long
me.
as it's on the way, then.
Yeah, and I give us a good opportunity to take a break, interact with the local color, give Elise opportunity to work her magic.
And hopefully Joy can be back because I'm sure city life is something she's more interested in enjoying.
The bard.
Yeah. So you arrive at Zimmerhaven. It's a larger town, so it's definitely a town, but it still doesn't look particularly prosperous. And there is a heavy kind of guard presence here, with the symbol of the vampire's hold of the vampire himself on them, and you kind of have to navigate through the streets. The there's Hope, what did you want to do in town?
I was hoping to interact with any local religion, any religious orders, if any have survived the occupation.
There is a temple here. You can see that it has the symbol of Belanik on it.
What does that mean to me?
Belanik is the god of terror and darkness.
Okay.
Strife. Darkness and strife.
Darkness and strife. I would like to go to this temple and see if I couldn't, hash things out. Talk. Cleric to cleric. See if I can interact to learn more about this temple, this cult, these people, through their religion. And if I couldn't contact Queershin as well. Kirshin?
Yes, I know. Temples have gold. We're not here to raid a temple yet.
You say yes.
Darn it.
I say never.
Oh wait.
Greg, I do the obvious contact people.
Yeah, give me a investigate roll
All right.
to find folks.
I'll do it. I so tired. I'm
Huh.
Huh.
Yeah.
This must not be the right time for that.
Yeah. It needs to be it needs to be evening or something.
Oh, the shortest.
In that case, I'm going to hang out in the local pub and get some rumors and local color and see if I can find out about that dead halfling wandering around the woods. If anybody knows anything about that.
Hi, Burger.
Okay. I assume you'll probably be using persuasion to do that.
Yeah, and I also put on a disguise to try to make myself a little more average looking.
Okay. Sounds good. Hope you go to the temple. We'll let everybody I'll go around for everybody while we wait for Jen to catch back up here. The temple, there's a inside there's a burly guy kind of behind an altar that almost looks like it might be bloodstained. It's hard to say. Probably not human blood.
Okay.
And there's like a couple of axes on the wall, and the pews are hard stone, just kind of benches that are in there. And it doesn't look particularly. There's nobody else in here at the moment.
What is he doing? Praying? Just sitting there?
I'd say he he is sitting there with a sword across his lap in what looks like some sort of meditative state.
I'd like to come up, sit down on one of the benches, like nearish to him. Take a quick moment to pray to my God. Kind of a just like, all right, we got this. Steel myself for social interaction, and uh, I've come to learn about what's this god's name again? Sorry, I say Belinik, not Belichick. Um, Belinik. I've come to learn about his influence in the area. I've heard he's a powerful, mighty deity, and well, I see you are praying to him and hoping you could fill
So
me in on the 40101.
the closed caption called him felony.
Felony. I don't want that to be true, but I feel like
So we'll see how that goes. You look strong and tough. Worship of Belinik is for those who wish to be feared by others, for fear is power.
I do believe fear is a powerful weapon. But I believe that we can achieve great things through communication and working it out. But I do appreciate strength of arms, and I see Belinik also greatly appreciate strength of arms.
Ah, yes, you wish to hear of all the terrible and powerful deeds of the god of Belinik and those that follow him. Come, let me tell you some of the stories.
Fantastic. Regale me.
So you get like an hour's worth of here's these grand battles where Belinik did slew tons of people and brought fear and talk about the power of like being able to cleave people in half and throw down castles and stuff like that, and the things to be feared. So yeah, he goes on for a while about that.
All right. I'm using the insight to figure out everything I can about, like I said, what this religion has an influence over the area, and well, any of those terror cultists. Anything else I can learn? How many more are there? Is this a big potent force in the region?
Sure. Get. Oh, excellent. You feel pretty comfortable that what he gave you is a lot of a recruiting pitch, and you kind of seems that he's still gathering influence rather than has it, would be your guess. And that he's trying to recruit the locals or people like you, and that's pretty much his main focus. So you didn't get a lot about local, deeds or anything like that. It was, and he follows it up with lines like, if all of the town follows, then they will also be feared and will not have to worry about being destroyed, kind of stuff. So.
All right, that's amazing. All right, I will thank him for his time after the long, long speech. Share some chocolate, appreciate his tales, and say, I will spread the good word of the god, and turn around and leave.
He will give you a small token holy symbol thing, like a wooden carved Belinik symbol.
Thank you. I'm just gonna take it. Thank him, and when we get outside, I'm just gonna put that in a bag and not touch that. Which make sure he doesn't see me shove it in a deep dark hole, but hiding that away.
Okay. Dream, did you want to do anything in town?
I want to go purchase some animals. Where can I go buy? Where can I buy animals?
What kind of animals do you want? Goats and chickens are probably the easiest to find.
Sure, let's go with goats and chickens.
Okay, you've got gold on you. You can, the local townsfolk are happy to sell their goats and chickens to you.
Okay. How much gold do I have?
Enough.
I have enough for.
You guys all got a
Okay.
stipend for this. So.
I'll buy a couple of goats and a couple of chickens.
Okay, you have a couple of goats. You have a couple of chickens. I'm excited.
Great. Is this what you wanted?
Anger. Were you doing anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the bar and proceed to get into arm wrestling contests
Okay.
because best way to hear information is to be at the bar, listening to everything that's going on while you're trashing people in an arm wrestling contest.
Sure. Same bar as Lace or different bar?
Probably a different bar.
Okay. Joy.
Can you hear me now?
We're glad to
All right.
have.
Oh, good. So I take it we're in a town.
Yes.
And
Or Hobbin.
okay. I'm definitely, if Lace has kind of gone off to do that level of investigations and stuff, I possibly would have followed Hope, but more likely to have followed Anger, because placing bets on Anger is becoming one of my new favorite things, especially during arm wrestling contests. So, also, if any place is having arm wrestling contests, perhaps I can get a performance or two done there, and become familiar with the town as a traveling performer. So I might meet people that way.
Okay. That sounds good. So basically, all three of you are in some way kind of getting information from townsfolk and the like.
Yeah.
Laura, did you roll that persuasion?
Black hack.
No, let me do that.
Okay. And Anger, you can roll strength for me just to see how that goes. And okay. Well, that's a natural one for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of ironic. I did really well in the road, but not in the bar.
The sort of things Lace would normally be good at. So you're in the bar, you put that disguise on, and like you're in there for like 3 minutes when some guy comes up and goes, "Hey, are you Isaac's sister?" Yeah, remember me from Fielding's Bluff?
Is this a guy I actually knew at some point?
No.
Okay, all right. Okay. I just go along with it. You know, oh, do you want me to buy you a drink? Yeah, I remember you from that. Boy, that was a ways back.
Yeah, you never told anyone, right?
Oh, of course not. Why would I? No, of course not.
Look at that.
Oh, good. I was kind of worried about that.
Yeah, how are you doing since then?
Oh, it's been tough, but doing good. Glad to see you're back.
Oh,
I guess.
how's that thing going?
You could be just little shits.
Anyways, you have a conversation.
Yeah, I try to pump it for information.
You get a whole bunch of useless information about a cabin, a small like house in the woods, and like a family that you know nothing about or isn't particularly relevant.
All right.
And that takes up most of your evening and why you don't get any or your time, and that's why you don't get anything.
All right. Okay.
Anger, did you give me strength?
No, give me half sec here. I got
And
distracted by
Joy,
a
you
cookie.
can give me a performance just because you should roll performance at least once, right?
All right, we need a new dice bot.
Okay. Well, you didn't get a 1. You do okay, but not up to your standards. You are strong. So, but there, one slip up here and there, and Joy doesn't make as much money as she thought she would. Was there anything? And you're listening. The main thing that both of you get is just that, that the people are pretty worried that they'll be either taken to the mines because there's something special going on in the mines that the vampire needs more people for, or the the continued rumors that some people are being taken up to Bloodshroud and don't return, kind of thing. I should also add for all of you that there is definitely also like a conscription thing going on that people keep getting conscripted into the army as well. And everybody is thinking the vampire is probably going to try and invade someone soon.
Okay, so are they conscripting just anyone or travelers, locals? Because I'd really rather not go work in a mine or the army. These hands were not made for being a soldier, and I look hard.
Mostly locals, but they don't. But travelers are pretty unusual because you have to get papers and stuff like that. They sort of assume everyone's sort of a local.
Gotcha.
And since we kind of failed on our contact this time around, I think we'll continue on. You guys probably spend the night here, but head off towards Dame Wither to have that fun conversation.
Sounds good. My sword keeps changing colors.
Is that like all swords, or yours just real special?
Mine just keeps changing colors. It was red, now it's purple.
I'm still trying to. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was saying I'm still trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do with these goats and these chickens. So
Feed them to your horse.
horses eat goats and chickens?
Your horse? We don't know. It's spooky.
I mean, we should probably have that, right? You guys get back to the inn that evening, and Green shows up with like 3 chickens and a goat.
Do you
So what's
eat
with
those for something?
yeah? What's with
I should
the
have cashed up
farm-
to you, but I thought that I could do
with the farm here?
I don't want to talk about it. I really
Donate those to the inn, or are we gonna like take those on the road?
no.
I can make somewhat of a tasty meal with them.
Oh, please.
Mm,
We have food here, and while I would appreciate that, I just don't want to carry a bunch of chickens around.
It would be dead.
Are you gonna make it here,
for the road.
and then we're gonna chicken jerky, chicken
No.
sandwiches?
Just bake it, fry it, stew it.
Are they potatoes?
no.
Why
Are
a
we-
goat?
Are we taking chickens and a goat on the road then?
Maybe
Is that
Dame Wither?
Where?
No, we're not taking chickens and a goat on a road. But I do want the horns off the goat for my meat horns.
Maybe we should take it to Dame Wither. Was that why you were told to get them?
Is Dame
I'm assuming
Wither
something told you.
into
someone-
chickens? Is she a
Great.
chicken kind of gal? I'm lost on the chickens.
Well, I'm going to assume the chickens and goat are coming with you, unless I'm told differently.
I'm gonna name them.
No, don't
Oh,
name
don't
them.
name them.
What? What do you mean? Don't name them? They're so
No,
cute. Precious.
Yeah, don't name them.
Well, they have till tomorrow, and then they're getting names. Mark my
Okay.
words.
I guess we are taking them on the road with us.
Well, that's a thing.
What to eat or what?
Wait, pets.
They're not for you.
It's 3 chickens and a goat, so majority of us get pets. And Dream, you already have a special horse. I feel like
This
This works
sounds
out
like the
great.
beginning of a very bad joke.
I don't want a chicken or a goat.
well,
I'm
the
pretty-
spectral horse is already taken, so
Wait, does your god require sacrifices? Is this something we need to do?
I could ask. I haven't brought it up before. I don't think so, but I'm not gonna speak for the god, right? That's not
I'm
on
not,
me.
We
not
can
in
have
sacrificing.
we can have goat and chicken sandwiches. We take 2
Right.
slabs of goat, fill it with chicken, and there you go.
It's not like a turducken.
I barely live there. but-
I mean, Anger is really good at slaughtering things. I'm
Yeah, that's true.
pretty sure. Yeah.
But to be fair, if the chicken, how's I
I did.
I don't know. I don't know.
Go, go, go.
Okay.
We have chickens. Lovely.
What?
Let's go.
Okay.
On the
Well,
road again.
on the road again. You are now deep into the south of that, and you're going into the edges of the Kulabi, the great elven forest that borders the Vampire's Hold. The trees have gotten larger and kind of gotten a little bit of sparkle about them, and you can even hear on just the edges, and you can see that there's certainly places you pass multiple lumber camps as these trees are highly valued and part of the reason that the elves are not particularly happy with the humans on their border as this sort of thing goes around. Those of you who know the Kulabi know that the elves basically don't let anyone in, but in theory you don't have to go there that far. You are following some old, rarely traveled paths through the hills and forest that lead you towards where you might find Dame Wither. Which, as you crest a hill a day or two later and kind of look down through the trees, you can see a clearing below you. Probably half a mile wide. And in it, you can see very much like an idyllic little cottage, a fenced corral where you can see, and I know this is some goats there in the field, and as you can see that there are two very big men kind of working in the fields. They both carry large axes and are probably at least 7 feet and wide.
They look terrifying.
They're probably Dame Wither's sons.
Okay. I mean, never mind terrifying, but they're awfully cute too, right?
Mhm.
They definitely have kind of that big roly-poly cuteness look to them. Although with an edge of terror, perhaps, with the axes and the clear feel that there's bunny or muscle, excuse me, beneath the roly-poly.
Mark me down as scared. Let's talk to them.
Yeah.
I waved my arm.
Yeah, they
Try to
come
get their
over.
attention.
You guys approach, I assume, right? And
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
Are these humans or are they elves or
Just
because
a
they're
big
on the
human.
edge of the elflands, or are they ogres?
Small ogres.
well, they don't look like they have any ogre blood in them, other than being really big. But they do look human.
Hello. We're
Oof.
travelers in this strange land.
They look up at your approach.
Be nice, guys. Be nice.
I don't know anything other than that.
Good.
Always nice.
Fine, I'll stay back.
Dream,
That's
it's
true.
good. It's good to make friends. I mean, neither of us have to talk. I'm no good at it.
Right.
They don't like talk to you though. They just kind of stare at you a little bit, and then kind of like almost in unison, like synchronized, they like turn and start walking towards the cottage. You see, as that happens, like a third one comes out of the woods to your left,
Pressing E vigorously.
and
Like he was
basically
following
joins
us?
them, so that all three of them are walking in lockstep by the time they get to the building.
Okay.
In fact, even before they get there, though, the door opens, and like an old lady, looks probably 70-ish, little bit of hunched over, has a cane, and the whole lot, comes out and stares at the group of you that's approaching.
I'm going to have dismounted my horse so that I'm leading it slowly because I don't want to be above these people, if that makes sense.
I second that motion.
I am doing the opposite for the exact same reasons.
Right. As we expect.
Oh no, I didn't haste. I thought.
Greetings, Dame Wither.
Ultra beam.
Greetings. You don't look like I expected.
Oh,
Brave heroes come in many forms.
I look around looking like, well, what were we supposed to look like?
I don't know why you did that.
Heroes.
Well,
That is not what comes to my door, but assassins and politicians, is it not?
I take offense. I am neither of those things, and would be horrible at both.
I certainly
Yes,
am
you
an
would.
assassin and a politician. Thank you. Or rather, a politician when I need to be.
I mean, we can all act heroically when needed to act heroically, no matter what our other skills sets
For
include.
me, it's not an act.
We'll talk
Yeah.
about that later.
I know why you come. You seek to knock the vampire off that throne and stop his rampage.
He would be very, very powerful if he was allowed to get that way. He needs to be stopped.
He does seem to sniff and smell towards those like him. He has
We did-
sent already those to look and see who I am.
We are not sent by the vampire, though. We hoped to gain information that would allow us to overcome him.
And so you come to see what I have seen and what may come as help. Of course. But first I have to know whether you're worthy of such things, or if you are but just another fly in the web of destiny.
A test. I jump up and down with, excitement.
I pose heroically.
Let us prove ourselves.
I'm still sitting on my steed and looking down and not saying a word.
Can I whisper over? Do you want to give her a chicken or not?
We do. I think Jane could fit in well here. She likes this kind of area.
I see. Well, I have 3 sons, and each one of them will be a test for you.
And we have 3 chickens.
That means she gets the goat. That was such good forethought.
Dream! Thank you! This is why you got. I understand now. This all makes sense.
Wait, who gets Dream's goat? Okay.
Oh
didn't quite
boy.
get-
No,
Um,
they don't get the chickens or the goat.
What?
They don't get the chicken or the goat.
What's
Chickens
the
or the.
point?
Fine.
That's for me to know and you guys to not worry about.
Not Petunia, but she's so dear to me.
Well, if
They
we can't
are-
do them chickens, what can we do to prove ourselves to your sons?
Oh, the sons, they're quite strapping lads. They are very strong. They are very. They endure the hardships, and they know this place well. One of them, and she claps her hands and says, Bori, over here. And you realize as you look at them that they are definitely different, but you've kind of still sort of lose track of which is which. They do seem kind of similar in some ways. But Bori comes over. And says, Bori is very strong. Who among you is worthy of strength?
That would be me.
Torin, we can't hear you if you're talking.
Oh, I'm real strong. That was the gist of what I said. I'm sorry, I was muted. A mighty cleric of Queershin. Very proud of my strength.
I don't believe
Well, well, each of you can try and see if you can are worthy of pass the test of strength. And she like points up towards the field where there's like this big, massive rock. You know, it's like 4 feet across, and just kind of sitting out there. And as you look at it, it looks like maybe someone's been throwing it around. There's some big divots around near it. And Bori walks up to it, and he picks it up, and he chucks it.
Well, that's impressive. Well done.
We will see if either of you can throw it farther than him.
Good. A test. I walk over to the boulder. I say a prayer to my deity. I cast Divine Favor, more for the effect than, or more for the aesthetic than the effect, I should say. And roll Strength, I suppose. Right?
Yes. Oh, look at that. You throw it exactly the same distance.
Fantastic. Well, see?
Okay.
Mighty strength abound.
Wow. So it's same as or better than, right?
We will see.
This would be a good time to be as large as a giant. But anyway,
If you use your rage, you get advantage on strength checks.
I'm going to totally go raging. Mainly because the dice roller hates me, but wait a minute. This wouldn't qualify for proficiency bonuses. Yeah.
But you have advantage, right? So you can roll it twice.
Yep.
There you go.
Hey, there we go. The dice roller now likes me.
Would you say it's taking advantage?
Hey,
Yeah.
Greg.
Yes.
My deity pointed out that I was given guidance by myself. Could I get an extra D4 to that attempt retroactively?
Sure.
Thank you so much. That was a 20 total.
Okay, so you both managed to throw farther then, with a 22 and a 20. After that happens, Dame Wither kind of comes up to each of you, and like takes her like kind of real close, eyes you, takes one of her hands, and actually like feels up your arm. She kind of nods approvingly at Anger.
Typically, if somebody's going to feel up my arm,
Which,
they have to provide me with mead first.
this is my house.
That's why I said typically.
And she kind of nods, and then she does the same thing to Hope, and kind of like her brow creases a little bit, and she scowls at him. Stalks away.
The strength is real, I promise. It comes from the soul, the heart.
Well, then our next test is that of endurance.
When you say endurance, what do you mean by that?
Molor.
Joy.
What was that?
My
She
goodness.
calls to one of her sons, and like points to like a tree way in the distance, and says, "You will race him to that tree and back." It's probably like a mile away.
I can try that.
Okay.
Get right back
It's
up. Don't worry.
not going to be my thing.
I mean, I do have the fortitude for it, but I want to let somebody else, have a turn.
So, Dream, you're going to do the race?
Yes.
I was just going to go with the Constitution roll,
Okay.
unless you had some other plan.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I could cheat, but
I mean, I feel like that's not discouraged. Just don't tell anyone.
I'm pretty sure the dame noticed.
Yes, I know. Not another race. I'm staying out of this one. I'm giving somebody else a chance.
I am happy
the
to
plan.
prove my
Run really
physical
fast.
prowess.
And you all literally hear me say that.
So
Of course.
when you,
Oh dear.
Molor is way ahead of you as you get to the tree there, Dream, and turns around to make the return trip.
I'm gonna silent image a
Did you-
version of myself running ahead.
Did you see Varlgard's post?
Yeah, I did. Um, uh, I'm excited about Varlagard because there's a chance we might see him cast some first level spells with 9th level spell slots, and I'm kind of hoping that happens.
That's horrifying. Who is this person? Is this one of the disembodied voices?
Yes.
I mean, Warlock patrons are not like just everyday Joes you meet on the street.
Oh, it's the horse. Oh God.
Right?
So anyways, that's how that race is going at the moment. Although Muller is looking a little bit sleepy on the return trip there. I guess we'll see how sleepy.
I'm like jumping up and down on the sidelines and cheering. You know.
Okay, I'm. Okay.
Now you're making him do math.
Okay, 27 is not going to be enough to put him asleep.
But will it slow him down?
All right, quick snooze.
Let's do rolls for the return trip there. We'll do a second roll for that. I will give him disadvantage for snoozing on the way.
Oh, you rolled in the wrong place. Reroll that.
Oh,
That's why I couldn't see it.
what's worse?
I think Varlgard hit you.
I don't. This isn't a very impressive race. I mean, like they really slowed down in the second half.
Why are they walking?
I thought it was supposed to be a race.
My grandma could run faster than that.
Perhaps
Dave Wither could run faster than that.
perhaps we should have had Anger run after all.
So as you cross the finish line, Dream, well behind the large molar, Dame Wither comes up to you and kind of gives that scrutinizing look that she gave to the others. You didn't run very fast.
Talking to her son, or
He didn't.
Try it again.
No, it is time for Tylik. As the third brother steps forward, and as he steps forward, he takes out his axe, and then he puts it down and picks up a huge club
Oh dear.
that's nearby, and she says, "Which of you wishes to face him to first strike?"
I would be happy to try.
I mean, I guess we're going to go with Joy. She turns to
Yeah,
Joy
yeah.
after having already looked at Dream, and he walks up to you with a large thing. Do you pull your sword?
I do pull my sword. I have no idea what color it's going to turn out to be this time, but I do pull my sword.
He will not injure you too badly. Do not worry.
Greg,
Yes.
right before the combat, so to speak, starts, I'd like to put my hand on Joy's shoulder and say a prayer to Queershin and cast Shield of Faith.
Oh, I thank you. Thank you so much. Laramie could also have helped me here, and I was going without because I'm, trying to not cheat.
You're not cheating. You're using the might of the God of Heroes to your advantage.
Okay. Yeah, my sword is now bright yellow. Like,
Give us a
AKA
highlight show.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's roll initiative and then see where we go from there. Initiative is relatively important in a first strike type conversation.
I got a 9.
But you did not win.
No. I'm still too busy arguing about the whole yellow color, but it's a very pretty one. So yeah. And they're probably talking to me about footwork. I'm pretty sure of that. Because they do.
Given this is a challenge, you will get an opportunity to parry if he hits you.
Oh, good. I'll need that.
Does a 9 hit your armor class? That's a
no.
Never mind. That's a 1.
Wow.
So, blinded by like the yellow sword and the glowing and all of that, Tyler walks up and like swings and just biffs it and like takes out a piece of fence that goes flying, and his club breaks in half.
I just kind of look at him and I'm just going to whap him on the back of the ass with the flat of my sword. I'm like, does this count?
Well, give me a roll. He has an armor class. It's not horribly high.
Will a 13 beat it?
On the nose.
Nice. I'm trying not to hurt him. I'm just gonna. It's like a love tap. We'll think about it that way.
He just about gets out of the way, but you do manage to like tap him, and Dame Wither walks over. Good. And he like is looking at his club,
Oh, can I use mending and put that back together?
Yeah, you can.
Pretty sure I've got that spell somewhere around here.
To be fair, if you don't, I can whip one out.
No, I've got it. So I'll cast mending on his club to put it back together.
I will ask the lady if they want to redo the race.
Oh,
Anger's amazing at running. He once ran 100 miles.
I think I've learned what I need to know about all of you. I've learned what you're worthy of and what you're not. For instance, I've learned that you come not unaided by things. And I've learned that what you should learn, what I should tell you. Come. Come inside, and I will show you what you want to know. Or what you need to know.
Thank you so much, Dame. Love to follow you inside. Tea. Does anyone want tea?
I think
Or
that-
s'mores.
Mead.
Well, we'll see what she offers.
Inside there
What-
is sort of like a kitchen. You can see the kind of the classic cauldron. In there, it's big. I mean, most of the house is the kitchen, In fact, you're not really sure where those three big people sleep in here. And she gestures for you all to come over by the cauldron. It's a big cauldron too, right? Like you could fit in this cauldron.
Oh, good. That's not horrifying. I sit down, get very comfortable.
So it's big, so I can like skip up and skip around it, looking in to see what's in it.
What looks there's basically like some liquid in there. It looks it's not clearly not water, but it's kind of black and doesn't really look like food either. She takes a big spoon, like the spoon that's basically almost as long as her, and she sticks it in there and starts to stir it. Are all of you gathered around the cauldron, or?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm right around there. I'm not as close as possible, but definitely within arm's reach of Dame Wither.
Yes.
Definitely. As long as I don't think she's going to push us in, but even then, I'm not that worried by it.
She's a lovely person.
There are
I'm
3 chickens and
perfectly
a
at home.
goat out front if she needs more meat for this.
She cannot have the chickens or the goat.
Petunia is dear to all of us, and I don't think she's a valuable sacrifice. Too gamey.
Do we have a vote on which one is Petunia?
I think it's the goat.
The goat is Petunia.
Okay, you all gather around, and as she stirs it, and you can start to see that there's it's all black, and then surprisingly, you can start to see all your reflections in it. Even though you definitely wouldn't think this would be a reflective surface, but you can see yourselves, and in this particular image too, actually, you can all see something standing behind you. Your head, your disembodied head image is behind you, so you can see your patron, your god.
Can we see each other's?
There's some German. Yeah, you can see each other's. There's some Brecht guy, all extremely handsome and well built, standing behind Lace. Kirshen's god looks like he's got a helmet on. With lightning bolts on it and stuff, and probably carrying a hammer. Yeah. You all saw the picture in chat about what the flaming horse thing that's kind of appears behind Dream there. There's a big huge face. With a massive beard behind Anger. Behind Joy, there's probably a pristine elf, I would think, that looks behind there. A very noble, very, very elfy standing there. Anyway, so you all see that briefly through those images as you look around. But then that too sort of fades. And in its place, you see what you can guess might be the vampire. It was a human. Its face has been contorted. There's multiple sharp teeth sticking out. The ears have gotten not necessarily elf-like, but pointed and bat-like. There are wings folded behind him. The skin is now kind of a mottled blackish color. Although the eyes remain kind of a piercing yellow through that. And he's walking through some big stone castle wall, or room. Hall is the word I meant to say, hall. And then is entering into the picture, you see the Gorgon. Huge 12-foot tall horns, face of stone, humanoid. easily recognizable to any of you. There's nothing else it could be. In fact, sitting on the throne, you could guess that this must be the Gorgon's Hall that you're looking at. And you see, then as that happens, the vampire raises a hand, and the hand like starts to turn to stone. But even as that's happening, it lunges forward, and those mottled teeth plunge right into the stone body of the Gorgon, and a black ichor like blood. You can see it pooling out. Some of it's coming out the edges of the mouth as he appears to be drinking it. As the two of them, then the Gorgon standing up, circle each other, kind of struggling to survive as one of them starts to turn to stone, as the other, as blood leaks from the other's wound, until you see the Gorgon collapse, and the vampire turn completely to stone, but then continues moving, and looks down upon that and the vision ends.
Well, darn.
Is that to be or has happened?
Like a date on that?
Date timestamp.
Like lower left-hand corner, we got like a nothing. Like
Keep your eyes on the cauldron. It is not done with you, she says.
Yes, miss.
wait.
Wait. Then, like the whole image goes black, and there is everyone kind of gets a chill that runs up their spine, and very briefly you see the red eyes of that halfling that you saw before, and then it's you see the halfling as kind of like walking through the darkness, and you can see the vampire in the distance, but then suddenly like the image cracks with blackness, and Dame Wither is flown backwards, as everybody else should make a fortitude save.
Ow.
A fortitude save?
Constitution. Wow, that was the thing. I never even played much of that.
What game system are you talking about now? You sure it can't be wisdom? I can't think about the danger. Kind of lie to the cauldron.
Me.
We did great, guys. We did great.
So great.
We're all gonna die.
Okay, well, clearly con saves are what the party's good at, right? Or no?
Absolutely.
I think all of you are thrown backwards, and take 2 points of strength damage.
Strength damage, he says.
Yeah. It's probably not necessary. I mean, you're not likely to get into a combat before it matters, but you take the damage. We'll see.
Fair enough.
And then, who got the highest here? That was a 14, I think.
We had Joy and Anger,
Yeah.
right?
Joy and
Okay.
Anger both got 14s.
Joy and Anger, both of you, like you stumbled backwards. You didn't quite fall all the way down. And as the two of you look up, you see what looks like a long, pale, whitish hand reaching out of the cauldron.
Dream, put that away.
Excellent. I immediately hit it with an axe.
Yeah.
Eldritch Blast.
I mean, do we want to grab it, pull it through, and then kill it, or?
Okay, roll
Push
hit
it
with
back.
axe. I think Anger's just hitting it with an axe at the moment.
Ask it if we can be friends.
Maybe I was wrong about that comment.
I turn into Dane Wither to make sure she's okay.
She's lying on the ground. Her eyes are rolled back in her head at the moment.
I do what I can.
I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on her if I am allowed to turn.
Sure. Well, I'm going to start with Anger, and then we'll work our way around to actions. Anger, give me. You got it. Let's see. There we are. Okay, that's not great, but it totally hits a stationary cauldron, right? And you hit the hand, and your axe passes through the hand as if it's like a phantom or a ghost, and chips the edge of the cauldron, pretty significantly, in fact. As that's happening, hope you throw a cure spell on Dame Wither.
Yeah, I'd like to use my bonus action to Healing Word Dame Wither
Sure.
for 2d4 plus 4 healing.
Anything else you're doing?
I'm gonna cast
That's fine.
Spiritual Weapon to summon a maul and attempt to defend myself against the hand if it reaches out towards us again.
Sure. Dream, did you have it?
Yeah, I'm Eldritch Blast. I'm doing Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Lace?
I'm trying to wake Dame Wither up.
Okay.
14 for an Eldritch Blast to hit.
It hits cauldron. Joy?
Do I see any of this actually like hitting anything? Like it's real?
I mean, you saw it pass through the hand. The Eldritch Blast hits the cauldron right in that area. It's an Eldritch Blast, so it's hard to tell. I mean, the hand doesn't. So far, the hand it's grabbed the edge, but hasn't done anything more than that. Although you kind of have this impending feel that something is rising from the cauldron.
I really want to grab that brooch and slam it into the hand and see what happens.
Not a lot of blood,
hey.
but I'm so
Yeah.
down.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah, give me a roll.
What would that? Would I have any pluses to that?
That's a finesse weapon, right? She gets to use her dexterity?
Oh, I'm supposed to make a separate attack for each beam.
Yeah.
Can I use Dex for that?
Yes. The brooch will qualify as a finesse weapon.
26.
You really did just roll a 20 on that, didn't you?
I did, as a matter of fact.
Jen, you can't kill us all this early. We just started.
Okay. I'm going to get back to you. Because I'm excited about that. That's now we're getting somewhere. Okay, I'm going to kind of resolve things in a reverse form. Anger, you have another axe. Did you want to hit again? Or
Absolutely.
okay, so
I don't care if it worked or not. Both of
we
them are
don't need to
magic axes.
roll any more dice at this point. Basically, with the Eldritch Blasts and your axes, the two of you slam into it. You're not hitting the thing per se as much as the cauldron, but you shatter the cauldron. The Eldritch Blast hit it at the same time. Anger's second axe comes in, and the cauldron shatters, spilling this black liquid all across the floor and everywhere. It's like molasses, so it doesn't flow quickly, but it's coming out. However, as the cauldron falls apart, there is this hand, this pale hand. I mean, it's almost bone, and you can now see the arm behind it, and there is like this face, but it's just a hood, like like death or something, that's also rising out of there, and part of that as Joy reaches, comes rushing in, and with that, and just basically like the cauldron disappears, but oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. She like puts that brooch right into the face as it's coming out, like just smack dab in that face. And one, you are in fact making another fortitude. No, let's. Well, I think there's probably a fortitude and a wisdom involved here. So why don't you do both of those things? For me, I know those are both things Joy is good at.
Okay.
Narrator, she is not good at those things. At least, I mean, I guess you are a cleric, right? So wisdom isn't
I am a
as
cleric.
much. Okay.
And 0. I got 16 on the Constitution save,
Okay.
and a 13 on Wisdom.
So immediately as your hand gets close there's this, I mean, it's so cold, there's actual frost on your hand, right? Like it's the air condenses just as you get there. And you stab it in, and as you do that, like you're right there, the hood kind of comes back and you see this face that will haunt your dreams forever.
Oh dear.
Sorry, Barlagard and Dream. But anyways, that's why you the wisdom save there. You go into shock right away. But as that happens, the rest of you can see that like this pale blue, cold light encompasses the hand and the jewel, as clearly something happens, and then there is a cry like the cry of a banshee. We'll just say everybody takes 10 damage, psychic damage or necrotic, probably some of both. And as that happens, and then the head and the arm just like quickly retreat back into the blackness. Joy, your hand is actually encased in ice and frozen to the gem. There is just this little bit of blackness on the point, and you collapse to the ground. Those images haunting you in a moment, as you basically are curled up in a ball.
If given the action, I would love to rush over to Joy, pull her away from the cauldron, preferably out of the cottage, and attempt to do medicine.
I'm not going to stop him. My hand kind of is frozen. It hurts. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that worked or not, but it went away.
So Dame, with her eyes just go closed and she kind of collapses, but she looks alive.
6 health worth of alive.
To wake. You also at this point in time hear a like thump 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 as all 3 of the suns kind of just collapse to the ground.
Oh dear.
The black molasses liquid is still slowly leaking out. Someone was helping you, Joy. I missed that. What was?
Yeah.
Hope was attempting to pull Joy out of the cottage and then use medicine to stabilize the shock and the frostbite.
Okay. Anger, you were right there as well. What are you doing?
I'm going to stand up, check out the three suns, see what's going on with them. And then check outside, make sure that we don't have an army coming for us.
Jen, you get to re-roll your save for Indomitable from your
Sweet.
sword.
One better, so 14.
Okay, Joy is still in a pretty bad shape as Hope drags you out. It is daylight out there and all of that, so the sun is warm, and you pull her out. It doesn't look like it's a physical problem other than the hand being basically encased in ice.
I would like to talk to Terang about this.
Can I use a lesser restoration on her hands?
Don't. I'm fine. Just don't. I'm fine. Terang.
So me being a good-hearted cleric will still use my spell slots to help Joy. I don't know anything about this elfin sword nonsense, but I'm a helper.
Anger, you've checked on the suns. They just look like they're asleep as far as you can tell. But they all kind of just piled over there. Dream, what are you doing?
I want to try to use Awakened Mind. It's telepathy on the liquid inside the cauldron.
Sure. I'll say that you did that fast enough that you kind of just briefly caught that there was a mind there, but then it slips away as the liquid starts to fall further apart. You probably got the impression that there was a mind coming out, but whatever
Stop.
Joy did stopped that from happening.
How badly is my hand damaged?
It's what are you doing with it?
I'm
there's still
looking
a
at
gem in there, and that's the relevant point. Basically, you can't move it from your perspective. It's frozen and it's cold, and you can't move it. It hurts a little bit, but not a lot.
Okay.
Heft up the axe. I can fix it.
No. Well,
Eh.
maybe, but no. I mean, yes, you could, but then I'd have to put it back all together, and I don't really want to be that at that point. Is it actually like frozen in ice?
I mean,
or is it frozen like solid?
I mean, it's not like you would think that it would be pretty easy to break. I mean, it's not like thick ice, but there is ice covering your hand, and you currently can't move it.
I'm going to use my dagger to chip away the ice. Unless I'm still like out of it, in which case I'll let somebody else do that.
Have a good night, buddy. Hope, are you going to help with that, or?
We've lost him. He wandered off.
Lace. I guess I'll do Lace real quick then while that's going on out there. Maybe there's. What do you do with her? Anything else at the moment?
So what state is she in?
She just looks unconscious.
She's just unconscious? Not appeared to be injured at all?
That is correct.
Feed her some meat, it'll wake her up.
Is the cauldron still leaking horrible liquid?
I mean, there is no cauldron really to speak of.
There's no
It's
cauldron.
basically just a pile of molasses, black molasses in the middle of the floor that's slowly spreading.
Okay.
I want to.
Is there a fire?
Sorry.
Is there a fireplace?
There is a fireplace, yes.
I start a fire.
Okay. Dream, were you saying something?
I want to try and identify the molasses.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's going to be fun. Okay. That takes a bit, though, right? Identify takes at least like a couple minutes,
Okay.
I believe. So while you're doing that, Hope, are you helping Joy get the brooch thing gem out of her
Yeah,
hand?
we got to chip
Yes,
this like
I would like to use lesser restoration, protection from energy, to see if I couldn't protect her against the cold, and separate the blood gem from the bard.
You're so picky.
It's a weird multi-class that I feel like you didn't really want to engage in.
Right.
Okay. Between the two of you, it's not that hard. I mean, if you get some help, it's pretty easy to get it out.
Alright.
Awesome. It's just
when you-
awkward with one hand.
So there was a setting, right? And the gem was up against your hand, and you can actually see that, like, there's a frostbite-ish, like the design of and the gem in your hand at the moment. You're not sure if that'll scar or not.
Okay.
But
We
if
can
it
make
is-
that look nice.
I mean, if it does scar, it's going to be a cool scar, right? Like,
Very cool.
it's,
Yes.
it looks way better than that one in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Okay.
So the but also, like, Hope, when you pull it out, like, the gem used to be kind of like a reddish color, and it is pure black right now.
So does that mean it's full? Did we mess up? What does this mean for the future?
That's a good question, and almost certainly going to require an Arcana roll from somebody.
I would love to help someone else do that.
Because it's not going to be me.
I can also. I can do an
Talk to Dream
arcana
about
roll.
this.
I mean,
Dream! If you listen to my god's guidance, that's an extra d4.
Okay.
I was in the middle of identifying something else at the moment, so I'll get back to that in a second. But yeah, Joy, after, like, I mean, with some help from the cleric and all of that, you're totally get feeling back in your hand and everything. The mark is still there, but you seem able to use it and all that stuff. Oh. And also, Joy, your sword is definitely offering to.
Okay,
roll
well,
Arcana for you.
if that's something Turag can help me with, because I don't have a lot of Arcana knowledge, but I'm willing to listen to it. So if I'm reading that right, I get a plus 11 on that?
Yeah, Turing's pretty good at Arcana.
Oh, good.
Crazy ancient elven swords and all.
29.
You get an extra d4 from my god's guidance.
Oh, geez.
Um,
33, baby.
33. So Turag says,
so you broke 30 on that Arcana roll, huh? That's a big number.
We're level 5.
Okay.
it's a huge number. Especially for me, because I'm not that smart, so I have no idea what half of this stuff means. So when I'm describing it, it's going to be one of those jumbles of, this is what I know. Because,
Right. Yeah, Turing is basically telling you most of this stuff
right.
in this process here. But first, I'm going to do the identify for Dream. Dream, you finish up your identify there as Lace is getting the fire put together, and this is not. I mean, there's magical properties to it, but as far as you can tell, it is a I don't know, spell component is not quite the right word, but like a magical construct that's been put together with, you're pretty sure, parts of various animals and people. This is like essence of people.
Oh, I've seen
Solid
this
black, in
before.
fact.
I've used this before.
Is that a
It's-
good thing?
It's useful for things. It's not in this form. It's not. You don't think it's particularly dangerous, and in fact, it might have been pretty corrupted and might need to be remade. before it's useful again.
I want to use prestidigitation to clean it up.
Like kind of pick up, yeah, okay.
Yep.
So magically kind of just clean the scene. Okay. Lace, dramatically, you get the fire going, and pretty much right as Dream is just starting to clean up things, Dame Wither's eyes fly open, and she kind of like sits up. And
Are you all right?
she turns to you and says, "The realm of shadow is watching
No, he's going mid.
you.
Oh. Me, huh?
You should leave."
Oh, damn.
Do you have any information on what just happened? And what that was?
That was. Do you know what the Pale Rider is?
No.
He is the force in the shadow realm beyond life. And his eyes turned this direction. I do not know why. But you, and he's looking at you, per se, but you are that reason, but it is because of you. You all should leave.
Oh, he knew he needed to rush me down. Oh.
Thank you for your hospitality.
So sorry about the cauldron. We'll send one later. Thank you.
Meanwhile, outside, Turing and Joy are having a good little conversation about what just happened here. Turing has reached a similar conclusion that the Pale Rider, the dark godlike force behind the Shadow Realm, that is in theory at some point riding in front of a army on a pale horse kind of concept, the incarnate of death himself. You have managed to trap a piece of him in the gem.
That's massive.
The
Way to go, Joy!
That was not expected. But
thinks
we're
this is
supposed
bad.
to trap something. It's bad, you say?
Is Death Incarnate better or worse than the vampire?
Way worse.
Oh, good.
This whatever is in here is probably extremely powerful, in kind of a power of death, and in fact, I mean, even with the 33, it's hard to say what the full impact of it's going to be. But Turing is already guessing that, like, being in the near vicinity for it is going to be that at the minimum it's going to have it's clearly affecting its like 10 or 15-foot radius around it is clearly in some way being affected by the negative energy of the shadow plane, and also thinks it's probably but I mean there's a lot of life here, so that impact is probably not like large and immediate, but it could be but is perhaps a little concerned. It's up to Turing about how concerned they might be at the long-term effects of that. So yeah.
So like
Let's
maybe
begin.
we put that on like a horse in the back. We ride like ahead of that, or get like a
It'll be fine.
put it on the goat, and it'll carry it in the back of the party. That's why we brought the goat. That's it.
That is not why we got the goat.
What,
What can we
Petunia,
use the
Lord of
goat
Death.
for?
Is that not the full title?
Hey,
I thought we got the goat so I could have some drinking horns.
I mean, that's up to the goat and the god of death.
No.
So I believe I fulfilled
Has she kicked
the
us out
law
yet?
completely here.
She asked us not so politely to get the fuck out.
Yeah, you guys are outside, but Lace. So that's happening outside. Lace and Dream. She's basically ushering you out right now. And
But-
Anger too. Her sons are getting up, starting to get up now that she's awake, and they are also kind of like looking at you crossly.
Yeah,
But I want to hear more about the Pale Rider.
I get out of there.
Well, we have part of him, so you can just ask that. Let's go.
You can Turag may have some ideas. We can talk about it.
Lovely.
Yeah, I would
brilliant
really,
story.
really like to know what the Pale Rider is right now.
I'm like, I want to hear more about the Pale Rider.
Yeah.
I think her last words on that are, "He is death. He is your death. Run away from him."
Well, that's made infinitely
my-
harder when we carry him around in our back pocket. I hate to be the bearer of
I
bad
thought it was
news.
the vampire. You know, I
And-
thought
You did great. I'm still worried.
Hey, we're not complaining about what you did. I think
Oh no, yeah,
that
yeah,
was awesome.
definitely. Joy
The
saved
GM
the
is really
day.
excited about it personally.
Uh,
That's the surprise that the group had in for me that I had no idea was going to happen. So that's my favorite part of the session already.
so Pale Rider, anybody? Anybody?
Jess, let's just get on a
Do
horse.
I know anything about the Pale Rider?
I have some notes. I should probably do them.
Does
Yes.
Petunia know anything? How does Petunia feel about the gem?
Okay. So there are certainly some people who know some stuff about the Pale Rider. I should. But that will need to happen. It may happen a little bit slowly. Anyone who wants to know stuff about Pale Rider can roll religion or
I would
nature
love to roll religion or
or
nature.
history.
Greg, the Enwerian bloodline has a bonus to history, but I don't have any training in history. But it says I automatically get training and I get double proficiency bonus because of my Enwerian bloodline. So I just not get that because
No,
I don't
you
get
can have
automatic
that.
training? Okay,
You can have
fantastic. I'm going to roll history then.
I didn't put a lot of those on character sheets actually. 'Cause,
Fair enough.
I'm not sure I put Anger's Rejuric stuff on there either.
Eh.
Ooh. Oh, wait.
Oh, what the-
I'm wrong again because I didn't roll my guidance from my god. And I'm talking to my god, so I feel like I should use the guidance from said person.
Mhm.
25 on asking Queershin, what's happening?
I rolled a 30.
You need to stop doing that.
I rolled
showing
a
us up.
19. Entering, you know.
This sword.
I think the best part is that, you know, out of game, I've got an 8 intelligence. So
Joy, I feel ya. I feel ya. I don't got no. My sword is not intelligent, I promise you.
yeah, my sword beats me at simple word games. Tic-tac-toe.
It's not
And
even
then
a word game. She's just trying
Right.
to talk to you and you're
It's
confused.
just got X's and O's. There's only 2 letters in that game.
That's 2 letters too many.
Okay, so there's a lot of things. It looks like in general, obviously Turang through Joy knows some things. Hope knows quite a bit as well with his role. And Lace, you get aided by your earring as well to increase those. So here's some things that as you are back on your horses and riding towards, I assume, back towards Zimmerhaben, there is conversation about the Pale Rider that will happen. I do want to ask, as part of this conversation, what do you do with the soul gem?
I
Blood
do
gem, technically.
do think it's a good idea to put it on the goat, and the goat with the rope is like 15 feet back. As much as I love Petunia, I feel like she needs to take one for the team here.
I
I think I want it closer to that.
disagree with that.
Yeah.
I heard
I'll
something
hold
about
it.
an aura of death. I don't.
I'll hold on to it.
With the death aura, or with how prevalent? Can we all sense that? Is that like a public thing?
I mean, it doesn't. There isn't really a sense to it. I mean, if you touch the stone, it's definitely cold to the touch, but you guys don't generally get like a bad, like ominous feeling emanating from it at the moment. Not
It's
here in
just
the
got a
spotlight.
lot of power, right?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna have a lot of power.
I'm just gonna hand that to Dream.
Grab
And
your
I'm just
hand.
like, yeah, of everybody here who should have even more power, it would be Dream.
She has mastery over the arcane. Well, they have mastery over the arcane.
Just
Right.
don't stab yourself with it.
I highly don't recommend the stabby part.
So this entire time, Dream's face has been expressionless, but now there's a smile on their face.
Wait. Dream,
That's a
how
lot of
on
power.
on a scale of like 1 to not on our side, how on our side are you? Hey, my
On-
God,
on a
maybe.
scale
Wait, I did.
You know,
What if?
Maybe we should have someone else carry it.
How about we Fellowship of the Rings this, and we all just take turns until someone decides
I
their
don't-
turn is more important than the rest.
I don't think Dream should have it.
I
Okay.
think I'm the best equipped to handle it.
I will take the gem and the punishment that comes with that until we decide who is a better carrier. I am pure of soul, and I will promise not to let the
So your corruption
powering.
will be so much worse.
Yeah,
It'll be much slower.
I think we should.
I mean, I can just
Yeah,
hang on to it too. I've already got all the marks.
And now everyone's talking
So,
about
Dream,
power.
Joy had
I
already
mean, I can always take it. I'm just too drunk to care about the side effects.
I mean, I'm
Sure.
fine with
Great
it
point.
being on the goat. I just don't want it 15 feet back where somebody else
Okay.
can swipe it.
I'll carry Petunia.
Oh my
Petunia will
goodness.
have it in her saddlebags. Her goat bags. Goat saddlebags.
Well,
There-
yeah.
Yeah.
There are no
I'm-
saddlebags. The goat
I can
is
give
food.
Petunia. She's friend, not food. Okay.
Goat is friend. No, goat is
I'm sticking
Unfortunately,
with my
I'm not a
original plan of just
beastmaster.
handing it to either Anger or Dream.
honestly, I am the best equipped if something should go wrong with this.
Played Marauder in so long.
Well,
Here.
just stay close to the goat then.
Stay
Hold
close
on.
to the goat.
Hold on. I've got an idea. Hey, Petunia. We need you.
No,
We need you.
no.
Carry this and stay very, very close to Dream.
It's like the canary in a coal mine.
Did you just
Right.
crit animal handling to tell Petunia to carry death?
Yes, I did.
Oh my god.
I don't think we can
Petunia's
interact
got a
with the
new
gem
necklace.
without critting. I don't think that's possible.
I mean, it seems to be that anything involving that gem is going to get you a crit. So
So, I assume, Dream, you're not putting the stone on a goat,
No.
even if that goat is Petunia.
Even if that goat is Petunia, Petunia is food.
So-
Friend, you keep getting those words mixed up.
Either
we
way,
can't
with
trust this
that
on
roll,
a. We can't trust this on
Petunia
a.
is never ever going to be more than 2 feet away from Dream.
Okay, Petunia now really likes Dream, but I mean,
Hell
Dream
yeah.
is the one that bought Petunia in the first place, right? So,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, they're friends.
I don't like this.
I love this.
And it's a shiny object, so of course
Just-
Petunia is going to try and eat it.
Yes.
Just honestly, I can keep it safe.
We have a mascot.
Why did you
I'm gonna-
make me
so
buy
I've-
the goat?
I've got a couple
She-
of things to do here, but well, one of them, we'll get back to the note by Varlagard there about Petunia. It's going to be great. I'm so glad I gave him that ability. But first, as you guys are traveling now that Dream has this, I have like, we're basically going to wrap up here, right? This is going to be our wrap up, and I may even give out, because I hadn't prepared all my Pale Rider information, I might give some out between sessions here to work things out. But and we'll start out next session in Zimmerhaben. But first, we have some things to do. You guys talked about the Pale Rider. The Shadow World is kind of this world of darkness that exists. I mean, in a lot of D&D realms, you have I don't remember what they call it suddenly, but there are gates to the Shadow World, and sometimes they break over. But in Birthright, in this world, the Shadow World is the world of the dead, essentially, and it is where death lives. And sometimes that breaks over, and in particular, some blood powers, even some that the vampire is rumored to have, tend to break those barriers when they do shadow traveling and working through the shadows. You already ran into a halfling. There are rumors that the halflings, when they arrived in this world, because they only showed up a couple hundred years ago, traveled from some other realm through the realm of shadow.
They're all umbral halflings. Ah, I get it. Okay.
And so that shadow realm is there and it exists. And even before the cataclysm in Mount Desmere, even before the more powerful gods of the past destroyed themselves in battle, there was always this rumor of I wouldn't call him necessarily the Lord of the Dead, but the ruler of this shadow realm that was slowly spending his time gathering the souls of the dead and those that
if we are going
fell
to
under his
venture
sway,
further into
so that
these
at some
ruins, which I'm
theoretical, prophetical point in the future, the army of the dead will rise to the shadow realm and try and suck all life into the shadow realm. The Pale Rider is the main get to that entity that sits in front of there, and it is certainly at the level of at least a godling in power. But at the same time, those who travel in the shadow, there are almost no memories of people talking to the Pale Rider or learning much about them or what they are doing. So there isn't a lot of knowledge. And this is stuff that's passed back and forth from Turang. Varlagard knows some of this stuff. Carl Adler has at least a little bit. The kind of these information as we go along and pass back and forth. And if anyone has any specific questions about the Pale Rider and the Land of the Shadow, we'll message me those between sessions, and I'll try and get those answered so we have more information about that. But that's the kind of gloomy talk you are having as you're staring at this brooch that Death has. 2 days into the journey, or about like you're a half day from Zimmerhaben, when the Dream, you're kind of walking along there with Petunia, and Petunia looks at you and goes, I do think you're my friend, Petunia says.
Petunia?
Me?
Yeah, the goat.
The goat, Petunia.
Yeah,
Where-
that one.
Did we all hear that?
Yes, it's clearly out loud and in Irian.
Hey, Petunia!
Oh, I think you're my friend too.
What?
This
Okay, now we can't eat it at all.
Right.
I wasn't gonna eat it in the first place. Just why is it talking? I mean, why is she talking? Is your name really Petunia? I didn't mean to like force anything upon you. Should we introduce ourselves? I feel like we've just skipped so many steps.
I
Yeah, I'm
already
Petunia.
introduced myself.
Well,
Isn't it way more exciting than sitting in the yard? I've gotten to
Everybody,
eat more fresh food here and
So-
see the sights. It's been nice.
well, I'm glad you could join us. You've been nothing but a boon. Do you want some food? Do you want to stop for lunch?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. No, I can make something. What do you like?
Anyways,
S'mores?
we'll get back into more Petunia next session. But yeah, Petunia just started talking.
Oh, damn.
The,
great.
no,
I the nothingness. 'Cause
Who awakened
I know who-
Petunia?
I the chickens.
I the nothingness because I know who did this.
Are you giving him the
Awakening
side eye?
mascots.
Okay. And so with that, the party rides into Zimmerhaben with a piece of death, a talking goat, and some more information perhaps about what they might need to be doing here, although not a lot. But luckily this time it is the right time of day to make some contacts with the rebellion, and we'll see about being a little more active next session about the vampire. Or we'll spend another session wandering around and then just charge his castle the first session. We'll see. But both of those are options. I do want to make one editorial comment to first thank all of you for indulging me in this little both experiment with our talking heads as well as our visible heads doing things and experimenting with that. So thank you. Also, for me getting to revisit some of these characters, and the setting that I've had before is always very enjoyable, and seeing the new takes on them. I will actually divulge or go a little bit further into that. Is one of the things that was sort of canon in the original Fighters of the Black Shield is that there were at the time there were only 12, and Dream wasn't one of them. So the canon was always that Dream was the one that had died of the fighters, and that had happened a while back. And so now, no pressure, Heather, but now the one that's died is carrying around a piece of the Pale Rider, and I've got some ideas how exactly that might have happened now.
Explains a lot.
Right? There's no definitive you're going to die this session or next session or anything.
But you like horses already, and you like riding, and you're fairly pale.
Maybe I can become death.
The amount of foreshadowing, it's almost painful.
So there's definitely, I'm really, really happy, and I admit that I was trying to not intervene when someone else was trying to take the stone from Dream, because that's where I wanted it to be. And so I'm glad it's there. Thank you for all of that, and thank you for everyone for playing. And 2 weeks from now, we will join back up with the fighters and see what horrible doom they have brought upon themselves and maybe some of the world, and see if they can fix any of that as we go along. So,
And
Nice.
thank you to all of the people that I've convinced to watch this Twitch stream the entire time. All my friends that I've forced to view all 3.5 hours of our tomfoolery.
So
yeah, no, thanks for. I hope that there was some enjoyment there. Sometimes the beginnings and the role-playing parts can seem a little slow, but the Dame Wither thing went way better than I could have imagined. So
Had a great time.
That was awesome.
So
I
So-
get my
It
private
was.
message.
what's that?
I was asking Greg if he got
anyways, yeah, I
before
did.
we end the stream.
I'll end that afterwards, or I'll
Okay.
talk to you afterwards before we close out here. But Casey, if you want to turn off stream.
Bye.
We will talk to all of you later, and then.
Posy, ashes, ashes all go down.
Oh my God.